It's party time, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
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 What am I doing?
And you're working.
We're good.
It ain't working.
Huh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it on?
It's working.
Everybody's watching us.
Oh, that's
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
It's not on.
You guys are pathetic, you know.
I can't even keep my eyes open.
It is on.
Hello. Hi, Mom. Hello.
Hi, everybody watching.
That's not how people want to see you. They want to know.
What's
Oh, so I'm not going to sit down today because if I sit down, I might, pass out.
You're always standing.
So, huh? Yeah, I stand up in the subway. I stand up all the time because I'm watching.
You don't need to watch now. We're all
Well, like we were in, today in Brooklyn Heights with that weird dude.
I didn't see who you were doing.
Huh?
Good, but I did. You saw him.
No.
It was like close quarters.
There was something wrong.
Especially,
You want to?
I don't remember who was in the back, but
And he was too close to them.
yeah.
And then he stopped and he turned around. It was just weird, dude.
Yeah, but funny thing was, I thought the same thing. He had like this bad karma around him.
Yeah.
Or
Karma.
karma's not the right
Or-
word.
Energy.
All right.
Energy. Yeah.
Or-
Why don't you girls sit on the floor?
Yeah.
That's probably better.
I probably.
That's much better.
What are you doing here?
Never said.
Sorry. So we started the day off. We had an early breakfast. 8 o'clock breakfast, and we made it 9 o'clock on the subway out to
East Brooklyn.
East Brooklyn. We took the L train. I've never taken the L train that far out. I was completely lost. I mean, I've never
The
taken
L
that
train?
train. The L.
Oh,
Yeah. And we took it out to.
I was the one pointing out the.
Yeah, you figured out the subway map.
She just
That's
wants
I figured
impressive.
out the subway in New York. That's kind of.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You got it in like 2 minutes. You figured out the whole map. But we got out to East New York, and we found the school,
Cristo Rey.
the Cristo Rey Brooklyn
Yeah.
High School. And those people were quite nice when we got there. They seemed quite nice.
Cool.
Um,
I like the lady.
what did you think about
Gracious.
those? What do you think about those two students, George,
You know what?
George and
And
I don't,
Kim. I don't know. I don't
What?
remember.
what was the girl's name?
I don't
The
remember.
two students, George and.
I remember.
No.
Yeah, it was something like something like.
Sorry if you're watching.
Ignore the camera. Just talk. Be yourselves. Which was this?
I don't remember her
I
name.
don't remember her name. What do you think about them two?
They were,
They were
too
nice.
too mature for their age.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a little child.
They were very
next to them.
disciplined.
Yeah.
They like had jobs
And they also had a lot of dreams.
and the money went to the school. It was
Yeah.
kind of impressive that they.
You were impressed with that? I thought it was kind of strange.
Why?
No, I didn't
They are working to
get into
make
college.
make the school even better than it is, and they get the experience from it and know how the work life is, and they get contacts too. So if you want to apply it to a job, like they got.
I think New York like forces you to grow up faster.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It does. I mean, you have no choice, right? You're walking down the street, you can't be, mug me. I'm not saying I'm right, but the first thing I thought was, if you're forced, every student is forced to have a job with these companies, right? And one day a week you have to work, and all that money goes to the school to pay off part of your tuition. My demented mental side says that that's child labor.
But she said that the money goes to college too for the kids.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
goes.
But
college
it shouldn't
fund.
be necessary, you know?
But it shouldn't be necessary that it goes all the money goes to school. The kids never get one penny. They get nothing.
Yeah.
And they have 200 kids or something, 150, and they want to grow it to over 350 kids. That's a lot of money. If 1 day a week, 350 kids are working,
Yeah, that's
that's good money.
yeah.
So to me, I was like, okay, you're a new school, right? They only been open for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, they're trying, but do me a favor, really soon find a different revenue model. Because somebody's gonna start questioning why are these kids working so much. You know, and what happens if a kid gets fired from a job? What does the school say? You both you better go back and get another job.
Yeah.
We need your money.
Yeah.
There's something, it's not pure.
Yeah, I didn't look at it.
You
like
could,
that.
you could, I know, that's what I'm saying, my sick, demented
Yeah,
side.
you're sick.
It's just, there's a better way of making money than forcing every kid to work. And they still have the same amount of homework as a normal kid who goes to school 5 days a week, but they got to do it in 4, and then they got to work 1 day for the school.
From 9 to 5.
From 9 to 5. That's the negative twist. I could be wrong. It's just, that's what I was like, wait a minute, this is very bizarre for me.
They go in like that.
No, they weren't trying to spin it that way, but my negative side just was spun that way. When you guys were sitting down at lunch talking to all the other students,
I forgot about you. You didn't exist.
yeah, you all forgot about me.
Yeah.
You didn't
Sorry.
exist.
No, the only time I existed when you guys wanted me to take pictures of
Yeah.
It was like, Thomas.
Thomas,
Can
take
you
a
watch
picture,
my
please.
jacket?
Yeah, exactly. And you just threw the jacket at me. That was it. So, but I thought that was fantastic because you know, it was about you guys meeting the students.
It was
A
awesome.
lot of Latino Americano kids.
We were so open. about
Yeah.
What were they
stuff.
talking to you at that table? Because you guys were huddling up and
Everything.
talking.
Everything. About
We became
music,
best
about
friends.
No, come on, one at a time. What a different topic. Yeah, don't ever raise your hand in front of me. Talk.
Sorry. Well, I asked them how the gang problems is around Brooklyn, and they told me that you never walk around alone in the dark, and you got like these Bloods and Crips everywhere, and they told me that the one got robbed. And they took his computer, and they were like in shock when they told each other that they walked around in the neighborhood alone in the dark. So it was like kind of shocking because they have to watch out all the time. The one said I have to watch look behind my back every 5 seconds when I walk alone because something bad, really bad can happen.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Yeah. Okay. Also, we were talking about I don't remember his name, but he's
Roger and
Yeah.
Chris.
yeah, Chris. I think it was Robert. Roger. Yeah. He was talking about the beach in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He said that that's the worst beach you can ever go to. Because it's
You talk about Coney
it's
Island,
shut.
Manhattan Beach, Brighton Beach. There's a few of them. Did you mention? You remember the name?
No.
What was so bad about the beach? By the way, this is the
People
beach. The
got
only
shot
beach.
there.
This is the only beach I ever went to when I was a kid. So tell me about my beach. People were shot there.
Yeah.
He said that he said that if you just bump into a man or something, they will shoot you down.
Yeah.
If you just bump into them and like this, they will shoot you.
Okay.
It's
Watch
crazy.
out.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
that
But
was not-
they
that-
were
but
laughing though. They were laughing
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
They were funny. They were talking about their school, their languages,
Yeah.
girls, parties,
They were,
everything.
Normal kids.
Yeah,
they were
normal
trying
kids
to
that-
learn Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah!
It was
A lot of
cool.
Norwegian words.
Awesome.
They
We had
try
a
to
serious
say
conversation all
Yeah.
the
ananas.
way.
Hold on a second. What?
They try to say ananas.
Yeah.
Oh, pineapple. Yeah.
Yeah, pineapple.
I mean, but they're normal kids, but they're living in ridiculous conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say, they are liable to what to do.
Yeah.
They're afraid of
They
something.
want to see the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
they're
want
not-
to.
They've only been
Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
That was the thing
That's
that like made me sad is that
But
the one guy I talked to, he didn't even have a passport, and he was like, I want to travel the world. Da, 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 da. I was like, what do you do in the summertime? He's like, I get a summer job, and he never travels, and he's only
But
in his neighborhood.
sorry, what shocked me was how positive they were. Like, losing the words. For them to get a job, it's not like we here in Norway. We want the good jobs, right? And we want
Yeah,
to
the
be
best
at,
job.
to be at the top
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
Best
and but they weren't worried about that. They
No.
were like,
Just want a
yeah,
job.
because I asked them, is it hard for you to get a job? And they were like, it's hard to get a proper pay, but you can get a job.
Yeah.
And that's that kind of.
Let me tell you what George was telling me. George has 3 jobs.
Wow.
He
At
has
the age of
16.
Yeah, they're 16.
He has 3 jobs, and he goes to school full time, and he's 16,
when you get a car.
and he has a car. So here's his story. I was like kidding me. Friday, so all day Friday he has the job for the school. He works for the school, and I guess his tuition. Then Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, he works as a salesperson at H&M in the village where you guys were at.
Yeah.
There's H&M there. And then he goes, it's the worst job. He goes, I work from 6 to midnight. And I go, why? How could being H&M be such a bad job? As a salesperson, you help selling people. He goes, the store closes at 9, and then from 9 to 12 we do cleanup.
Wow.
I go, okay, how dirty is the store? He goes, you don't understand. He goes, let me tell you some stories. I go, oh, come on, tell me story. He goes, this one guy, before the store closed, a customer came up, said, excuse me, do you have these pants in this size? And George checked, came back and said, sorry, it's out of stock. We don't have pants in your size. And the guy said, you mother, and started cursing George because he didn't have his size pants.
Wow.
In his face, yelling on top of his lungs, you can kiss my, and da, da, da. So George got his manager and said, excuse me, this customer is
Crazy.
going overboard, cursing me out. What should I do? So the manager came over, and I'm sorry, the customer was a woman.
Wow.
This was a lady. So the manager came over and said, excuse me, miss, how can I help you? Can you please calm down? The woman looked at the manager, didn't say anything, took her fist and punched the manager right in the face.
She punched.
She punched the manager in the face. So then they called the police and they handcuffed the woman and took her out the store
Wow.
because they didn't have pants her size.
That one must be healed.
Crazy.
He said that's normal. He said another time, as a salesperson, if there's nobody around or whatever, his job is to walk around the H&M store and fold sweaters and fold pants and put it back on the shelf while the customers are there. He said he went to his section, he's given a section, he folded everything nice and neat, left his section, and while he was folding, there was a guy walking back and forth, watching him. And he says, when I was all done and my section was nice and clean, I left my section and go see if somebody else needed help. I turned around, came back 5 minutes later. The guy who had been walking back and forth watching me was leaving my section. And he took all the sweaters I had folded and threw them on the floor. Then he goes, another story. He goes, this isn't the village. This is nice. Village is nice. And I kept on going to them, what's wrong with people? Why are people behaving this way? He goes, I don't know. People are crazy. And at 16, he's completely convinced people are out of their mind. He goes, another guy, you know how when you hang clothes on hangers and then the thing is round?
Yeah.
All the, right? In a round circle? So the guy would go, look at the pants, the jacket, and go, not my size, and he dropped it on the floor. Went to the next one. So he went all the way around the thing, and as he looked at every jacket, he goes, not my size. He dropped it. So it was a pile of jackets all on the floor. And he walked away and said, I can't find what I'm looking for. In front of George. And the guy was acting like it was completely normal that you pick it up and go, oh, not mine. Oh, no, medium. No.
No respect at all.
I'm like, George, he goes, this is every day. So that's his job at H&M. And then he has one more job. His job so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday through Thursday after school, he works at the YMCA, helping sporting events and coordinating things with kids playing sporting, dodgeball, football. So he works 7 days a week. And on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to save money, he walks from the village down to the Brooklyn Bridge, across the Brooklyn Bridge. He's done at midnight. He's 16 years old.
Why is he walking?
He wants to save money. He doesn't have enough money for tokens
Wow.
to go on the subway. So he walks from the village across the Brooklyn Bridge, and on the other side, you know where we got on the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
All those cars there, one of his car is parked there. And he gets in his car there, and then he drives it home.
Wow.
Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night at midnight, George leaves the village and walks all the way down to the Brooklyn Bridge, then walks across the bridge. He must get home around 2:30 in the morning. Now he gets home at 2:30 in the morning on a Sunday night. He has to be in school. What time is it? 8:30?
7:30.
7:30. When the hell does this kid got time to do homework?
Never.
Or sleep.
Or sleep? 7 days a week he's got to work. And he doesn't have enough money to take the tab on, so subway, so he's got to walk it.
Yeah.
Hardcore?
Hardcore.
16 years old.
Wow.
And you guys don't want to get out of bed to go to school in the morning.
Wow.
Not only does he have to get out of bed to go to school, he's got to go work
Mm.
after school. When do you do your homework if you work? He said, I don't understand how he does it. And then, let's finish George's story. In 8 weeks from today, he told me, he's off to Illinois, the
Navy.
state, to go to the military, to the Navy. So in 8 weeks, and I said, damn. I said, how long are you going to the military? He goes, well, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And if I don't make the Navy SEAL, I'm going to this other thing, which is one step beneath Navy SEAL. So no matter what, I'm going to the most extreme thing the military has. I'm like, you know that's like impossible training. You know, they put you through hell. And there's Hell Week. You ever heard of Hell Week?
Yeah.
7 days you don't sleep.
Mm.
They got you swimming, lifting up logs, building things for 7 days. There's no sleep. You are manually doing something.
And barely eating.
Yeah, barely eating. You're eating while you're running like a marathon. After you're done with the marathon, you ain't sitting down. Okay, now go swim 10 kilometers. It's Hell Week for 7 days. You're not allowed to sleep. Go on YouTube, put in Navy SEAL training, or put in Hell Week with Navy SEALs. You'll see some insane things. This is what George wants, right? So then I asked George, I said, how long did you have to sign the contract for going to the military? Because when I was a kid, it was 4 years. He signed 8 years.
Wow.
So George is leaving in 8 weeks, and he doesn't come back
So like,
for 8 years.
Like when you're 24.
Yeah.
wow.
And I said, can you please explain that to me? Because I'm like, you're working 7 days a week, all the way up until you leave? He goes, no. He goes, I'm taking 1 week off before I go.
Wow.
How dedicated is he? He's got a plan. He's got a vision. I need to make money. I need to help my family. And then I'm going to my thing. So he's going 4 years military. And he goes, I might go to Iraq. I might go to Afghanistan. I'm going someplace. They're sending me someplace for 4 years. Then I come back. And then I'm 4 years stateside. And every day for 4 years, I have to go and do something with my military buddies. And I get the afternoon off. I get the afternoon to go to work and do a normal job.
Wow.
So his last 4 years, he's in the military, plus
Work.
he has to work, go back to H&M. So if he survives Afghanistan and Iraq, his reward is to come back to the United States, still serve in the military, and then go back and work at H&M. Because he has no education. He'll be 22, 23 years old, but all he's got is a high school diploma.
But why did he choose Navy SEALs then?
He didn't want to go to college.
Why not? Can you tell me?
He goes, it's not interesting for me. He goes, the school's very upset at me. All that behind that kid we met today. It's a lot, isn't it?
Mm.
You guys are 16, 17, 18, 19. He's working 7 days a week and he's off to Afghanistan and Iraq. You know what? Remember at the very end when we said goodbye to him and I gave him a hug and he was like a little awkward with it? That's the last time I'm going to see him. And then 1 year from now, he might not make it. If you get sent to Afghanistan and Iraq, you're going to be in it. So I want to give the guy a hug. And I said, you take care of yourself. Remember I said the last time, you take care of yourself. He may not be around in a year. So that was my way of saying goodbye. He signed an 8-year contract. Every day for 8 years he's a target. I'm giving him a hug. He's going to war. We're in 7 wars in this country right now. We have 7 wars. They got enough places to send him. The chances of him coming back without a bullet hole is really small. So sorry for me talking so much. This is your time to talk, but I thought it was important that you understand who we spend time with. 7 day a week working, 4 or 5 hour a day sleeping, guy happy with life, and he's going to war in 8 weeks. What are you doing in 8 weeks?
Summer vacation.
Put that in perspective. On May 22nd, that's 8 weeks from today, you guys should think about George. Seriously. He's going to do 8 years in the military. In a military that's right now in 7 wars in 7 different countries. It's not like Norway where you guys go to your military thing. Is Norway at war?
Mm-hmm.
No. The US, yeah, we got 7 different wars going on right now.
What country is it? Iraq, Afghanistan?
I did the list before. We'll do it later. Remember Obama when he won the Nobel Peace Prize? We were only in 2 then. He's upped the ante since then. Long story.
Wasn't he supposed to end all the wars?
Yeah, well, that's good marketing.
Whoa.
That's just stringing. That's Stalin all over again.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. So please, on May 22nd, think about George.
Yeah.
The chances of him coming back. And I remember at the beginning I asked him, I said, did you sign up or whatever? And I asked him, and I was very specific, did you enlist or did you make it into officer training school? He said, I enlisted.
But are you allowed to apply to the military when you're 16?
Yeah.
So
And he makes the same salary as working at H&M.
But
He doesn't want to go to college. That's the only other choice he has. He doesn't want to stay at home. He can't stay at home.
so they send a 16-year-old to Afghanistan or Iraq?
Yeah. After going through basic training.
So it's like basic training a year or something?
No, basic training is the first basic training for everybody is 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then Navy SEAL is if he makes it 10 months.
So it's about 17 when he's...
Yeah, he's about 17 when he's all done if
Yeah.
he's lucky and all that. Yeah. And then he's got 3 years to go in active military combat at war.
Plus 4 years too.
Plus 4 years after that. And then when you come back stateside, if there's a war, which there probably will be, they have the right to call you and send you back.
Mm.
So he might see 8 years of active duty in war. Come on, man. That nice kid that we met today. That's what he's got to look forward to for the next 8 years of his life. What about you guys? Anybody be shooting at you for the next 8 years? He just signed a contract saying, shoot at me for 8 years, every freaking day. I mean, come on. Do you understand who you met today? He has no choice. He doesn't want to go to school, so he had to go to the military. What choices do you have? I'm asking a question. You're done with Bjørnholt. What choices do you have?
Management.
He has none. He's got to go to the military. How lucky are you?
Too lucky.
George probably won't make it. That's why I gave him the hug. Because it broke my heart. You guys get it? Tell me more about the conversations you have with those kids.
You like, when you tell me this, all this, you like shook me, and
Yeah.
it's like,
I what you?
you like,
Touched him.
you touch me, and it's like hard for me to just.
Take it now.
I'm doing it on purpose. I wasn't going to do it on the train because the timing wasn't right, but I was saving it for now. for reflections, because now you get to think about the whole day. And you guys were like, oh, what a great day, what an interesting day. You don't realize you just met someone that nobody's going to see him again in 8 weeks. When he says bye-bye to his family and stuff in 8 weeks, that's it. Nobody sees George again. Probably. That messes with your head, doesn't it? And that's his only choice was, I have to go to the military. And he goes, yeah, he goes, Thomas, I make just as much money working at H&M that I go to the military. It's a good job. Imagine that your mental state is such that you see going to war is just as, it's the same thing as working at H&M. What kind of life situation do you have that you think that? You guys are 16. Come on, man. You're thinking the same as him. You guys are the same exact age. You hung out a whole day. That's George. That's East New York. And he's not the only one. There's probably a few more. In that school, he was the only one, but I'm sure in that neighborhood, a lot of people don't have choices. How lucky are you? Nobody's gonna see George again. How does it feel to know that this guy will never see him again? I mean, nobody's ever gonna, nobody will.
I would give him a hug if I knew.
How do you know other people you see that they're not gonna be around tomorrow?
I just assume it.
Don't always. Live in the moment. What have we learned in this trip? New York City is driven by love. All the time, right? People are always giving to us. And we're not asking. But we get it in the subway, we get it in stores, we get it in restaurants, we get it all over the place. Starting to get it a little bit, a little more. This is not a New York thing, this is a life thing. You got to bring this back to Norway. You got to bring this back, you have to share it, you have to do something with it. I can't stop thinking about George. Too nice a kid to die. But his chances for the next 8 years. When I told you there's the Navy SEALs, he says, if I don't make that, I go to the other one. I said, what's that other one? He goes, in movies, you see the military, they're in these little boats, and you have guys hanging off the side of the boat in the water, and in the boat are just the machine guns, and they're going down some river stream in some country they're not supposed to be in. He goes, that's the unit. If I don't make Navy SEALs, then I go to them. And I said, George, you're going to be putting yourself in extreme danger. He goes, yeah. It's not like he's going to be a cook in Afghanistan. George is going to be front line. How's it feel to know this guy's dead man walking?
It hurts.
This kid, not a guy, he's a kid, 16. It's different. Nice guy, nice kid, right? Well spoken, you said very mature. He has no choices. Dead man walking. Dead kid walking. That's even sad.
Keep faith. We will make it.
I hope. But if you're 16 and you go to war and you come back after 8 years, who are you after 8 years of war? And you're only 16 when you went. 1/3 of his life he would be at war. right? 8 plus 8 is 16. Another 8 is 24. 1/3 of his life, he's been at war, at literally with guns and shooting. 1/3 of his life, and he's only 24.
He's going to be at war his whole life. Because when he's home, things that are going to see down there, he's never going to see.
Exactly. How are you? From birth to 8 years old, you don't. You're just a child. You're a baby. That doesn't count. From 8 to 16, okay, now you start having memories and you start being a person. Now the next 8 years of your life, war. Who's George when he's 24 if he makes it?
Only war in his mind.
Wow. How would you be? You spent the last 8 years of life surviving and getting shot. God, Lord knows, and killing people.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
8 years of killing people. And you have to come back to the streets of East New York. Do we think we need people like that walking the streets of East New York? We need another lunatic who's used to killing people? What happened when we got to the subway in East New York? What happened?
We saw the man with the machine gun and with his, with the machine gun on. Bulletproof vest and helmet. I was that crazy much. I felt uncomfortable doing that. Because I said to you, like, why is he walking like that? Like, why is he? But then I understood why he walked like that.
Why?
Because the people, they were like crazy when we walked down to the subway with our cameras out and all the looks we got. It was a dangerous neighborhood.
I saw no crazy
It
people.
was like different from
Mhm.
where we came and
I
where
saw
we ended
no
up.
crazy people.
You didn't see crazy people? What did you see?
Me neither.
I didn't see.
So
I
you-
didn't see the bad police guy either.
Mm.
But as I told you at the start of this trip, there's like a psychology to it. People are claiming that places there are a lot of theft and a lot of crimes. It's a lot of police, but some people claim that it's the other way around.
Mhm.
That's places there is a lot of police, but a lot of
But it-
there are the places with the most guns. The first thing I noticed when I got into the States was the police officer was carrying a gun in his belt.
Like for me, it is like normal to see police officers walk around with guns, but in the subway it was only one policeman with a machine gun, only one of thousands.
But a machine gun in the subway.
In the machine. And if you didn't see this, the looks people gave to us when we walked down the stairs to the subway, I saw them, I felt them, but I didn't understand why until you told us, hey, put away your cameras because you are a target.
I think 3 or 4 you had out these expensive
3.
cameras.
3 of them.
Here's the killer thought. Did everybody notice we were getting stared at?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Did
when
you?
we,
Did you not, Patrick, or you didn't notice at all?
I noticed.
You didn't notice?
I
You
noticed.
two didn't notice?
When we were entering.
When we entered? Yeah.
I had this.
You felt it.
I felt it, but
I felt it.
I'm not careful enough with my assumptions because I thought that since you didn't say anything, it was cool.
Like I felt it when we first like got to the subway, like when we walked across the street. But I felt it the most when we were walking down the stairs to take the.
That's when it means.
That's why.
Yeah, that's
I,
what
I took my bag in front of me, not back.
Yeah. Remember what I told you, Marcus? I said, take that camera and put it inside your jacket and zip your
Yeah.
jacket up.
Yeah.
And it was my fault. I didn't catch all that stuff. I had all the warning signs, and until we came down the steps, then I was like, what the hell am I doing?
Mm.
You know? But here's the killer thought. Those of you, everyone pretty much noticed that we were being stared at.
Mm.
From the time we approached the subway
Yeah.
to the time we got in to the time we went down the steps. Everybody knows that.
Mm.
But all the people in the subway, and they were staring at us. Most of them were staring at us.
But they do it.
No one stared at the cop with the machine gun.
Mm.
That was normal for them. We were the ones that were out of place.
Yeah,
Think about that.
yeah.
that in that society, in that community, you guys are the weirdos, not the guy walking with the machine gun.
It's like opposite of everything I've thought.
You tell me. What do you think about that one?
It shows how crazy the community is, or how poor the people are, or how bad the situation is.
In their world, they look at you guys, they think you crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing here?
Because it was funny because when we first came to East Brooklyn, I thought, yeah, this is nice. It wasn't like I thought it would be. And then we came down to the other part of Brooklyn. And it was totally different from where we came from to where we ended up.
It was only a couple of blocks we walked.
It was two blocks. 2 blocks.
There were 2 or 3 blocks from okay to
From Abbott.
pretty much hell.
Yeah.
But I'm repeating myself. What kind of neighborhood is it that is normal to see a guy with a machine gun, and it's the weirdest thing where everybody, 100% of people are staring at you guys?
I think it's because
I think that's crazy.
yeah, but the people living there, they know that you are not supposed to flash off your expensive things, and when they see us coming down with these
No, but I
huge
saw a
cameras.
woman in the subway, and she was like sitting with an iPad, and she was like sitting and trying to hide it, and because she knew.
Yeah,
And she
but
was like-
she knew, but we didn't. We just walked down like, yeah, okay, let's take the subway, you know. And it's like they see guns and stuff all the time, but seeing flashy cameras and dumb as we are walking around with these cameras around our neck.
Do you remember the first train that came when we were all standing there? We were pretty much in a circle, huddled up together. I thought that was interesting. All of you just came super close together. We never stand so close, but that time all of you stood together, remember?
I walked.
And then, yeah, one of you asked me, what was that? How do you stand in the subway or whatever? And then,
Like you don't care.
and yeah, it was you. And I said, the way you stand, you're supposed to stand like you don't care.
No, someone said it looks like we don't belong here.
Of
and
course,
you said that.
we huddled up.
Yeah.
Well, when do you see people in the subway huddling up like that?
That's why I walked away, because I didn't want the people to think that we were insecure.
And as we huddled up, a train came. And I said, no, we're not getting on that train. Do you remember I said that?
Yeah. Why? What did you see this
We
time?
would not have made it.
What
do you mean
are
by
you
that?
saying by that? What are you meaning? What make it?
Because when that train came, I knew it was a local. And I turned around and I looked behind to see all the people who were staring at us. And they were looking if we were getting on that train. The local from East New York stops in all the little stops in all those little places in East New York where there are no cops. We'd not have made it. They were all looking, because if we'd have gotten that train, you'd have saw a whole bunch of people getting on that train too. That's why I said, I like raised my voice, I said, no! We would not have made it. They would, because I turned and they were all looking like this down at us. Because you know, you're gonna mug somebody, you don't stand, obviously, but you stand behind, all the columns that are in the subway.
Yeah.
You stand there and you always lose one eye. Because if that dude gets into that train, you see it and then you sort of back up and you go in the train too, but you never get in the same car. You go 2 cars down. Then you walk in between cars and you pick the station, in between the station. We didn't ever made it. It would have been 15 stops
So.
inside East New York. 15. Now it took a while. We didn't ever made it. So we got on the express, which is 4 stops to safety.
Wow.
That's why I raised my voice. In my world, that was the stupidest question in the world. I just turned around. Those guys were looking at us like, please get in that train. Please get in that train.
I didn't notice that you raised your voice. You just know I was okay on this train.
I thought I was
I noticed it.
I didn't know that you were raising
it
your
was
voice. You
insane.
said
It
no,
was,
I was okay.
it was,
I'm
it was
fine.
scary because those were salivating pit bulls back there. And they
Salivating?
drooling. And if we'd have gotten that train, you would have probably heard them go, yeah, high-fiving each other. Christmas, baby! He's mine, she's mine. Local train in East New York? Are you out of your mind? We might as well just, they raped me. I'll tell you a true story. This is in another part of Brooklyn. Friend of mine, when we went to school, the cops came first day of school to freshmen, fresh year students. The cops said, "You always have $5 in your pocket
And $2 in your.
and $2 in your shoe." And this guy, he said, "Pff, hell no, nobody's gonna mug me." Okay, stupid. So he walking down the street, 6 guys came over, said, "Give me your money." I ain't got no money. They said, "Yo, man, you got to give us something." He goes, "I'm a student. I have no money. I have nothing." And these guys said, "All right, take off your pants." And 2 guys had sex with him. And they said, "We got to take something from you." And one of the guy goes, "I'm not even gay, but this is street rules. I got to take something from you." He dropped out of school, moved back home, and he started seeing a psychologist, the kid. He cracked mentally. He couldn't take it. Street rules. I'm mugging you. You got to give me something. If you don't get anything, I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you. And I'm not even gay. But I have to. Street rules. True story. This is not a game, people. Wake up. This trip is not about you to go home and tell stories. This is an experience for you guys to wake up and make a difference and do something more with the life you've been given, the opportunities you have, the choices you can make. Do you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Patrick?
Loud and clear.
Yes?
Yes.
What do you think about when we got off the train at the train at J Street and we went upstairs in the shopping area?
When I asked you, "Can I take out my camera now?" Hell no.
Did you see that neighborhood?
Yeah.
When we got off the train after East New York
When we
and that guy sold us the CDs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys nervous when that guy approached us with the
A
CDs?
little
No.
bit.
You were, a little bit. A lot of people in those streets, right?
Yeah.
What color were they skin?
Black.
A few white, not many.
Uh,
But they're
The
loud,
majority was
noisy.
black.
And then 5 minutes later, what happened?
We saw this line of white people. We entered the white people's world.
And the neighborhood was,
Nice and clean, tall buildings,
was that weird?
people chilling.
Yeah.
Isn't that freaky?
Yeah, because
Crazy.
you asked us to like watch where we came from, and we
Looks
like
Like
turn
right
around.
across the street,
Yeah.
it was like one black side and one white side. That's crazy. Why isn't there any white in the black side and blacks on the white
Because
side?
of the street game.
Why do the whites want to go to the black side? They have nothing to do there. And the blacks, why do they want to go to the white side? They have nothing to do there. So they cross the street, but not often. My boys ain't over there, so I'm not going over there. And the white people are like, I really don't want to go over there.
They're really
So nobody
so
crosses the
close to
street.
each other, but it's still so far. Really?
It's been like that as long as I've been alive. And I just took a chance it was still like that. But of course, things like that don't change overnight. We went from interesting, crazy-ass neighborhood to
Boring.
brownstones, trees,
Ice cream.
huh? Ice cream. The Brooklyn Promenade. That was very beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that those people who didn't cross the street, the black people, the Puerto Ricans, the Chinese, they're all over the place. They only have to walk 5 minutes to see one of the most beautiful sights you can see
They never do
in New York, and they weren't there.
Why see such a beautiful thing when you don't have?
But isn't that interesting? Remember I told you the Brooklyn Promenade is famous for at nighttime because in New York City all the lights light up and the bridge is lit up. It's beautiful. The Statue of Liberty is lit up. And people like proposing there. Don't you think those people love to take their girlfriend to the Brooklyn Promenade and propose?
People will walk.
They will cross the line.
Yeah.
How's that? What kind of
I
life?
think it's become like a street law, street rule to not do it. Developing over the years by just class separation.
Color separation. It's not class, it's color.
It's class too, isn't it?
Separation.
Class could
You
be.
told me that
Yeah, but
the
the color is-
apartments at the end that had this
Super.
beautiful
Oh,
view
yeah.
over Manhattan.
Yeah.
They are like super expensive,
Yes.
and that's a great class.
That's a very high class, yes. But most likely the white people live in
And
there.
that's high class versus lower middle class.
Like
Or-
it's the
J Street Borough Hall is all low income
But-
people.
it's the like invisible wall you can't see. Why cross the invisible wall?
There's invisible walls in Norway, in that culture. Janteloven is a visible wall. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I hate Janteloven.
And here in New York, we have invisible walls. You can't cross that street.
I don't know, Bjørnholt.
It's a street game. It's
I don't
street
know.
smart.
Really? No, I don't know.
You're not familiar with Janteloven? You know what it is, don't you?
Du skal ikke ha
Yeah,
mye mer enn
but-
andre. Bla, bla, bla.
You've never experienced Janteloven?
I'm sure I'm living by it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Interesting. For the next couple of days, I'll remember that and see if I can bring up a situation here where
Just tell me what it is, and then I'll get.
you're not
Go
allowed.
on- Go on Google.
You're not allowed to have more than me. Norwegian rules.
Yeah, but go on Google and search for Janteloven, and all the rules are.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's. Sorry, go ahead.
no, just continue.
No, I was just saying it's interesting. What is to me the Brooklyn Promenade is so romantic. So romantic. A lot of people bring like a picnic bag, and they take out a glass of wine. They open up a wine bottle, and sip a glass of wine with your girlfriend.
The most beautiful thing I saw today was the black lady and the white lady holding hands and walking together away from the pump.
They didn't care about society's rules.
That was so beautiful.
They didn't care at all.
I had to take a picture
Mm.
because that was weird. Like we were at the J Street and we went there and like it was different, and then suddenly you see two different colored people didn't
Didn't
care
matter.
what the color,
No.
the people around them holding hands and walking together.
So the question is, society puts these rules on, and these two people chose to ignore it, and everybody accepted it. So who set those rules? The individuals. But if you choose to ignore those rules and just live by your own wishes and your own rules, society will accept it. We're the ones who put all these limitations on ourselves. Before we went to the gay, lesbian, transsexual place, who put all the limitations in your head about gays, lesbians, and all this stuff? Other people did.
Yeah.
Now you've been there, you have your own rules.
I love
It's very powerful to have your own rules and have your own, I decide what I think. I decide what my values are. All the weight and all the time you spend being a mess is all based on somebody else's values and rules. Have your own. It's empowering. Those two women were in love. And we all smiled. It's very powerful.
What were-
The two people you talked about.
Yeah, but they were like old. I think they were best friends or something.
It's still love.
Still love.
Yeah, still love. It's still love. But it's like I'm like when we were at East Brooklyn, and I noticed in
East New York.
East New York, like it's sad to see that the police are circling around all the time because it shows us as the Norwegians that wow, this side is like messed up because all you see is police, blah blah blah. It doesn't make it doesn't change for the better, never. It always stays the same because they got a reputation they can't.
The police are trying to I don't think the police are trying to stop it. I think the police are trying to prevent it. You can't stop the bullets flying, but you can prevent it 1 minute later and try to slow it down. It's too.
They got a bad reputation, so.
It's always had it.
Yeah, but they never
And the
get
people
the chance to fix that.
People ain't got jobs. People don't have money. People don't have an education, and people are staying at home.
Yeah, but that's why America is pissing me off, because they got so much money to have 7 wars at one time, but they can help the poor people get an education.
The
or
poor
jobs.
people who are in Brooklyn aren't going to Manhattan. What did somebody said? One of the kids said, I haven't been to Manhattan, or I don't go over there. They're stuck in their neighborhood,
Yeah, that's what she said.
right?
Yeah, I asked him, did you walk over the Brooklyn Bridge? He said, never.
Never walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. They lived there.
And he's from Brooklyn.
What was his name? Yeah.
I don't remember.
So imagine that. So this kid that you met, one of his dreams in his life is to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. How excited was he to meet you from Norway?
He was a bit shy at first, but then he opened up more.
He was scared.
Yeah.
You guys represent the unknown. If he's intimidated to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, how intimidated is to meet somebody from Norway?
Mm.
You guys are like from Mars. I guarantee you a bunch of those kids went home today and they probably don't have a PC and they probably don't have internet, so they can't Google it. So they probably have some book and an atlas and try to find out where's Norway. And I bet you it took them about a half an hour to find that little country. If they're scared to cross the Brooklyn Bridge, trust me, they were freaked to meet somebody from Norway. The first question they probably had is, do they speak English? If I'm scared to cross the Brooklyn Bridge, come on. What do I think about somebody from Norway? Holy crap.
What kid are we talking about?
Some kid you got.
All of them.
But Thomas, I think they were happy to meet us too, because
Yeah.
no, when they first met us too, because when Marcus, Hashi, and I, when we went up to the classrooms, those two, our new friends, wanted to show us their classrooms. It was like a bunch of students just ran over to us, and we were in the middle, and they were like starting to talking to us, and they were like, "Can you teach us English? Can you teach us Norwegian?"
And they also say to us, ask us about our accent.
Yeah.
And they couldn't hear it, and they also thought that Norway was an English-speaking country. So
we were open the lockers,
Yeah.
so they were around us talking.
But believe me, it
That
was
would've-
over
that would've
20
been-
students. They were like, "Ooh."
They surrounded you, 20 students surrounded you.
Yeah.
There were 10, 15.
But you weren't scared, were you?
No,
No, no,
there
we
was,
were
everybody
like-
was smiling
we were
and
happy.
yeah.
Everyone was happy.
yeah, everybody was so open to
Yeah.
us.
You represent the whole world to them.
Yeah.
Something that,
When they hear Norway, they're gonna think of us.
Everyone thinks we say no way.
Yeah.
they don't
So-
even know the country.
Yeah,
exactly.
we're like, you don't. Yeah,
don't-
we know now.
And
You don't exist.
No.
Norway doesn't
So we
exist.
also
Yeah.
have
Like,
to
how
tell
can
them
you know about Norway
Oslo
when you never
and-
crossed the Brooklyn Bridge?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We
Why,
don't
why
know.
would I want to know about
Yeah.
Norway when I don't even know about...
what's on
Do you,
the other
do you
side.
understand?
Yeah.
Norway is insignificant. Insignificant. They didn't even know the word until they met you today. And they're probably going to go to their friends tonight and tomorrow and say, we met these people from Norway. It doesn't, it's not part of the vocabulary. You gave them a new word.
You know what's special? What I think right now, the picture is George took with my camera.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's right.
He borrowed my camera.
Yeah.
Went around school and took pictures.
Yeah.
And that's his dream in life. He goes, my dream is to be a professional photographer. But he has no way, no means, there's nobody to help him complete that dream. So he has to go to war. But that's his passion in life. He's the president of the photography club for the school. And he's the president of the school newspaper.
And he's only 16.
And he has 3 jobs. And he doesn't have time to do homework. And he only gets about 3 hours sleep a night. And he still has...
the military.
And he's going to military. And he has to produce a newspaper for the school. And he has to do all the writing and the layout and design and take the picture.
And gotta walk all the way to over the Brooklyn Bridge every night.
Yeah.
And gotta drive home.
Yeah.
And same.
Yeah. He's 16.
That's insane.
No, that's normal. That's just getting by.
He's doing more than 5 persons can do in Norway, and the students, you know.
One guy.
Yeah.
And it took the time out of his day to be extremely polite to us.
Oh, God bless him.
Did he complain at all when he was with us?
Not at all. He was smiling all the time.
And he looked like awake.
Yeah.
Very awake.
Yeah.
He existed.
Yeah. He was living.
So yes, those pictures you have, priceless. Heavy day when you reflect on it. You guys thought today's reflections would be,
Like I was about to go to sleep before I came, and now I'm like awake, like.
It has been a long day.
Yeah.
Lovely day. That was.
We were saying in the room that there's nothing to reflect today. It
Yeah.
wasn't something that happened.
We felt everything was happy and
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bell was good and nothing to respect. But
wake up,
yeah.
was a lot.
see what's going on.
It happened because the 2 guys I was talking to, they was afraid of walking around alone, and like they were talking, like they shared stories with each other, and I sat there and listened to all the stories and how much their parents make it each week, you know, $500, and when they get the money, when they don't get the money, and their fathers and their families and the block and everything. It was interesting to see people open up so much in front of the Norwegian students.
I think that's interesting because here they are telling you about their family income. Isn't that personal in Norway?
It's too personal.
Right? You guys don't go around telling all your friends how much your parents make.
No.
You never cross that line. Here are the kids meeting strangers, telling you the most personal of information.
I almost started crying, seriously. That was too personal.
In their worlds, they were showing or giving love.
Yeah.
They opened up. As we continue our stay here, we're at the halfway point today. Stop taking things for granted. You took today for granted until now. Don't do that. Think about George. Next time you're walking down the street or someplace saying, oh, this is great. Oh, this is nice. What are you missing?
George.
Not only George, but many other the students we met.
I bet George opened up.
What about the people we met last night at the center? None of them had jobs. George has 3 jobs. That's an amazing guy. Those people don't have jobs at all, and they were great, and they were a little bit older.
Yeah.
Some of them were homeless.
And they were homeless, yeah. Yeah, well, what time is it? It's the quarter to 10?
Yeah.
Sun's been down for about 2.5 hours. A few of them in the park right now. Again, every night we have reflections. One of those people we met last night is sleeping in the park again. That's why we're here. Do not take life for granted. We've all been given a gift. Tomorrow we are meeting at 8 o'clock downstairs.
Are we eating breakfast at Applebee's?
Do you mind having breakfast at Applebee's?
Can we try some place else?
There's a diner over here, we could try that one. Yeah. We got money in the budget. It's expensive, but we'll try that one. Just to go check. It's just a little expensive.
Yeah, baby.
Huh?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. I don't think I should spend more time drilling down what I've already drilled in regards to today.
Yeah, you should do that. Because
Stop playing with that.
Yeah, sorry.
You guys have to make the choice whether or not, from this point to the time you go to bed till you wake up tomorrow, what are you going to do with all the reflections we just had?
Wait, I can't think about the guy.
Stop doing that.
Okay, I'm sorry. About the guy selling chocolate on Subway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I felt so, like, respect, man. Seriously, respect. That
What?
Because you are not doing anything that involves crime.
You don't
He
know
was
that.
about 24, 25 years old. Not
was on his
embarrassed.
grind.
No one was laughing at him, and he was hustling to get through the day, through the week.
What'd you say, Patrick?
He was on his grind.
He was on his.
Grind.
But still, it was real friendly.
Yeah, God
He
bless
did
you.
what he
Yeah.
had to do.
Have a
to-
nice day.
Yeah.
All that.
No, he did
I
what he
just-
had to do to
Give
make a
respect to get respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I thought about when he entered the subway was like saying real loud, and then I realized he wasn't up to no good. He was just trying to make money for a meal.
$1 at a time.
That's sick.
And what I realized about New Yorkers, like the guy selling sneakers, the guy selling those mixtapes, all these guys at Times Square, they're all hungry.
Yeah, but you know,
Hmm.
buying that CD today was probably the best thing I've ever done.
Did you check it out?
Yeah, and the
Was it
songs
good?
were awesome.
Yeah, they were good.
Seriously, respect to that
I
guy.
had to check them
That was awesome.
too. Yeah.
And what did that guy say that you bought the CDs? How long is he out there?
Every day.
Every day.
For how long?
You know what? When he said, "Now you're giving me back. Now everyone is gonna give me the CD back," I was like, "Oh hell no! I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy it one. I'm gonna buy it one."
He's out there from 10 to 6 every day. 7 days a week, he said. He's putting in 8 hours, 7 days a week. For a couple of dollars. And it's not profit, because he's giving you something.
Yeah,
Those
because
CDs cost.
I gave him $6 and he gave us 2 CDs.
Three
Three.
CDs.
3? Wow.
Right.
3 CDs, which had, and they weren't like copy CDs. Picture, cover, professional.
It was copy.
But still, it wasn't like a gray copy and you use a magic marker.
I know. He had like put his mind into what.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Think about today. Think about every day. Think about every person you saw. Think about all the feelings you had, the fear, the happiness, and then think about George. Think about the guy selling the chocolates on the subway. Think about the policeman who has to carry a machine gun instead of just a gun. What has that guy seen that he came to work this morning and says, I want the machine gun today?
In a bulletproof voice.
What kind of job does this guy have? What kind of life does he have that he goes to work and says, I need a machine gun to go to work? In Brooklyn. He's not going to Iraq. He's going to East New York. I need the machine gun. What kind of life does he have? He probably has kids in high school just like you. Imagine your daddy going off with a machine gun every day. His kids got that reality. Papa walks around with a machine gun. Down the block. Hardcore. Have a good night.
And God bless George.
God bless George. See you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right?